Season's greetings, friendos. My name is Bobby Rosario, and this is my brand new show, Movies I Like, where I get to talk all about movies I like. As we bask in the magic of the holiday season, I felt it only appropriate that I use this new show to talk about some of my all-time favorite Christmas movies. So, without further ado, let's jump right into my top 5. The holiday season is one for the family to enjoy together, and what better kinds of films for a family to watch together than animated films? There's the animated classics like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and Frosty the Snowman. In the past few years, we've gotten amazing animated films like The Grinch and Klaus. The Polar Express reeks of Christmas cheer while simultaneously being horrifying to look at, and who could forget Adam Sandler's instant Hanukkah classic 8 Crazy Nights? But I'm gonna go with a bit of a weirder choice that'll probably end up being one of the more obscure entries on this list. For my favorite animated Christmas movie, I'm going with the underrated and incredibly heartfelt, The Tangerine Bear.
You're right. Somebody'll come along and see my good qualities. In the meantime, I gotta keep myself fit. Gotta get sold, I gotta get bought. I gotta get sold, I gotta get bought.
Tangy, a discolored teddy bear, finds himself the result of a factory accident when his smile gets accidentally stitched upside down. While happy and hopeful on the inside, he has a hard time showing it on the outside and finds himself being the only unsold teddy bear during the holiday season. It's an incredibly sweet and oddly human story about a toy finding purpose, a family, and a home. Also, my mom walked in on me once watching this movie while I was bawling crying, so it's pretty good. Now that we've got the animated films out of the way, we can focus on live action films. And what better genre to start with than with action itself? Over the years, we've seen a number of Christmas action films like Shane Black's witty Kiss Kiss Bang Bang and the ridiculous Reindeer Games. And of course, we have the many action movies that find themselves taking place during the holiday season, even if they aren't exactly Christmas movies. Movies like Lethal Weapon and Batman Returns. However, when it comes to Christmas action, one movie tends to jump to the top of most people's minds, and that, of course, is Die Hard. And for what it's worth, Die Hard was my favorite Christmas action movie of all time. Up until earlier this month. My favorite Christmas action movie has finally been dethroned by the brand new and explosively fun Violent Night.
If you could have anything in this world, what would it be?
I wish I could see Mrs. Claus again. Tell her how much I love her.
Then you make that wish come true.
It's Santa Claus meets John Wick. What's not to love? Violent Night follows Santa Claus on Christmas Eve using nothing but his brute strength and a touch of Christmas magic to rescue a little girl and her family from John Leguizamo. It's loud and funny and gory, and if it sounds ridiculous, it's because it absolutely is in the best way possible. And if you can believe it or not, before the credits roll, it ends up being a pretty wholesome holiday story about family, heroism, and the spirit of Christmas. If you're seeing this video around the time it gets uploaded, then Violent Night is still in theaters, and I highly recommend you go check it out if you haven't seen it already to celebrate the season. I would leave the kids home though. Now that we've focused on action, we can focus on its doofier, less cooler brother, comedy. Just about every Christmas movie is a comedy to some degree, so there were a lot to comb through for this one. There's Christmas comedy classics like National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation and Scrooged. We've seen new wave Christmas comedies like The Night Before and Office Christmas Party, and streaming services have brought us quirky holiday comedies with fun twists like Love Hard and Spirited. Hell, I was tempted to pick a Bad Moms Christmas just for the Kenny G cameo.
I don't know, take your little flute and shoot. Shoot fly.
Okay.
Go make another album.
It's not a flute, bitch.
Don't care.
But no. I reserve my number 3 spot for a holiday rom-com all about love that isn't Love Actually. It's a cult classic Christmas comedy called Just Friends.
Do you want to go ice skating?
I thought you hated ice skating.
I used to, but you know, I'm actually pretty damn good now. I'm the MVP in my league, in fact. Come on, be like old times.
Hello, Joyce?
Mom, I'm on the phone.
Alright, hear me out. I know this movie's no masterpiece, but ever since I've been young, this movie just does it for me. After being unable to tell his high school best friend and secret crush how he truly feels about her, overweight teenager Chris Brander packs his bags and leaves his old life behind, losing the weight and landing a job as a successful record producer in LA. 10 years after high school, Chris finds himself back in his hometown for the holidays and reconnects with his old friend and crush only to realize he's still infatuated with her. Sure, the story's pretty predictable and it's not the greatest looking movie out there, but what it lacks in its plot or in its cinematography, it makes up for big time with its colorful cast of ridiculous yet hilarious characters. Christopher Marquette plays the damn near perfect annoying little brother, Anna Faris delivers one of her funniest performances as crazy pop star Samantha James, and who doesn't love them some overweight R&B singing Ryan Reynolds. It's a personal favorite that I make sure to watch every December. Sue me. For the next entry on this list, we'll be taking a look at some classic Christmas movies. Now, the term classic may mean different things for different people, but it's my list, and it's my show. So I deem classics to be any movies that came out before my time. And that's a lot of fucking movies. Far back, we have the black and whites of the 40s, like Miracle on 34th Street and It's a Wonderful Life, which many consider to be the greatest Christmas movie ever made. The 80s saw instant classics with movies like Gremlins and, of course, A Christmas Story. But if there was one period that reigned supreme for Christmas movies, it was the 90s. The 90s brought us hits like Jack Frost, The Muppet Christmas Carol, Jingle All the Way, The Santa Claus, and my number 2 favorite Christmas movie of all time, Home Alone 2. Lost in New York.
Get out of here, you nosy little pervert, or I'm gonna slap you silly!
Alright, look, I know the first one's better. We're on the same page there. But Home Alone 2 Lost in New York is the coolest movie ever if you're a kid. Forget getting left home alone while your parents are on vacation. How about getting left home alone and getting a vacation of your own? Oh yeah, and that home he's alone in just so happens to be the Plaza Hotel. Imagine being 9 years old, taking limos up and down Manhattan, visiting decked out toy stores, and chilling with the future 45th President of the United States. Can't believe that one either. And sure, the sequel's ending might be the exact same as the first movies with a change of scenery. And yeah, that pigeon lady subplot is kinda fucking weird, but it's a sweet movie that makes me feel like a kid again every time I watch it. You gotta love that holiday nostalgia. Well, we made it to number 1. Since we used the last slot to cover some Christmas classics that came about before my time, it only makes sense that now we focus on some of the more modern hits that came about in the past 2 decades. The 2000s were a great time for holiday movie lovers, and I could legitimately just sit here and list off holiday hits that came about in that era. And that's exactly what I'm gonna do because I'm getting tired of writing this script. Movies like Christmas with the Cranks, Bad Santa, Love Actually, Deck the Halls, and The Holiday. But I'm sure many film fans would agree that there's one modern holiday hit that deserves to sit at the top of this list. Plus, it just so happens to be my favorite Christmas movie of all time, so it worked out perfectly. I'm talking about the one, the only, Elf.
Who the heck are you?
What are you talking about? I'm Santa Claus.
No, you're not.
Why, of course I am.
Well, if you're Santa, what song did I sing for you on your birthday this year?
Happy birthday, of course.
For a movie that's almost 20 years old, Elf still hits the exact same way that it did when we first watched it oh so long ago. And if you haven't seen Elf, then I'll summarize the plot for you quickly, but I also suggest you dust the rock you've been living under this entire time because what? Elf follows the journey of Buddy, an orphaned human raised by elves after he sneaks into Santa's bag as a baby. After learning of his true origins, Buddy sets out to New York City to find his biological father, a successful children's book publisher played by the late James Caan, who also just so happens to be sitting on Santa's naughty list. Will Ferrell gives one of his funniest performances to date as the leading elf in what is sure to be one of the most memorable and quotable Christmas movies of all time. And while the movie is as hilarious as it is, it's just as heartfelt with great moments reflecting on families of all types, being yourself to the umpteenth degree, and celebrating the holiday season for all the happiness it brings. It truly is a Christmas masterpiece, and just in case you forget, the best way to spread Christmas cheer is singing loud for all to hear. Happy holidays, friendos. Hey there, friendo. Hope you guys are enjoying the holiday season, and thank you for checking out the first episode of Movies I Like. If you enjoy this video, it'd mean a great deal if you could leave a like and subscribe to the Team Joystick YouTube channel. We've got tons of awesome content for you to check out, and you can do so right here. This video was really hard to make, and there's a lot of fucking lights on right now, so I'm just gonna sit in this chair while you decide whether or not you want to click on one of these videos or go do something else. No pressure. No pressure at all. You do you.